Welcome back, everyone, and happy Monday. This is Brown Bag Bets, powered by BETSPERTS. We are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. I'm Alex Christenson, somehow still feeling full of energy, Andy, even though this is day 6, I think, day 5 in Vegas. I head back home tomorrow, finally, back to the East Coast, back to humidity, back to less than 10 degree temperatures. It's, I don't know, who knows. But how are you? How was your weekend?
Oh, pretty good. It's like it was a fun weekend of sports. I remember we touched on this Friday. Did you watch the Euro finals at all?
Yeah, I did. I was at so I got up on Sunday, watched the Wimbledon finals over at Circa, went over to the Superbook at Westgate to watch the Euro, and then we got a chance to watch the NBA finals on Sunday. I went over to the new place Resorts World. Sportsbook's okay, but they have a couple really nice like lounge bars. We were up like 66 floors or whatever, overlooking everything. It was beautiful.
I'm definitely excited to check out Circa, but now Resorts World open too. So yeah, I'll be out there in about 6 weeks. Gonna check all that out. Glad I had you're like my scouting party. You're like Danny Glover and Lonesome Dove. You go ahead, check things out. Patrick's heard bad things about resorts. Well, I'm gonna go there anyway. And I still
It's
need to I still have never been to South Point. I need to go there at one point ever.
wear your walking shoes when you go to Resorts World. So, I went to the South Park garage and we tried to go to like one of the restaurants. I literally looked at my phone. I walked a mile and a half. It took me a mile and a half to get from the parking garage, like where we went to eat. The place is massive. So when you're going, wear comfortable shoes or try to like call ahead and figure out where the best place to park was, because that was kind of frustrating. But once you get in there, the casino floor is really nice. It's really quiet. They don't have like too many slot machines, and they're not loud, so you don't have that ding 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 ding, ding like sound the whole time. It drives your nuts.
Buffalo.
So it's really pleasant and nice, and there's a lot of nice looking people staying there. So
Well, then it
lot to
sounds like
look
my
at.
kind of joint. Yeah, Wimbledon was cool. I wish, I got the over. I had a little scratch on the over. That's kind of what I thought I was going to do Friday. I don't bet heavy on this tennis stuff because I'm not very good at it, but little on the over. Got there. Really didn't need much after the first 2 sets. And the women's final, that was pretty good, I guess. I don't really care. I didn't bet anything on that. The Euro final was good. Drew kind of asked me about this. He's like, I think his exact words were, he's like, I'm trying to wrap my head around if it was a fair result because I was pretty day drunk. And he's like, I wasn't sure. I'm like, and I said, when England scored early, I'm like, they might have scored too damn early because they're going to
I
pull
think
their
so.
England shit. Like, you can't do that for like 85 minutes. It's too long. They only shot 6 times, once on goal over 120 minutes. So I don't know if they deserve to win. Penalties are a tough way to decide a final, but it is what it is. And honestly, I had an Italy ticket, so I'm glad it went my way. And really, like 7 out of the 10 penalty kicks were bad. Like they weren't good.
Oh
So
yeah,
it was kind of a shitty penalty kick, but it was exciting. The whole time was
the
tense,
game
like
was
waiting.
good.
You knew Italy was going to score. Like you were just waiting for Italy to score. I didn't know if they'd score again. That was very tense. Extra time was super, super tense. And yeah, like I guess I don't mind penalty kicks to advance in a knockout round, but maybe not for an international final. Like just let them keep playing, or like after the second overtime, do
It was make
golden
them play a little
goal.
bit longer. Maybe give them some more subs. Do some stuff like that.
Yeah, third overtime,
I
extra
always wish there
subs.
was some more creativity around to try to explain it. Maybe take a break, like before they go into overtime, like give them 5 minutes to like get some water and like whatever. I mean, who knows? There's different ways to think about it. I thought the game was pretty good, but I think you hit the nail on the head about England scoring too early. I was sitting with a handful of England fans, despite holding all my Italy tickets. I was safe. They were actually pretty nice, but they were like, "This is bad. They're not playing. There's creativity's gone. Like it's and if you ever grew up watching Penn State football with Joe Paterno, they would get up by 21 points and go into this prevent defense, and the end of the game was just miserable because they just keep giving up points. And it was honestly like watching my dad. It was like having nostalgia watching these England fans being like, "Oh God, they're playing too passive. Look at this. They're just trying to sit back and hold on to this 1-0 lead. This isn't good."
No. And it wasn't. It didn't turn out good. Thank God for that. I got back in the black. We'll revisit this again in 4 years. Actually, 3. I suppose it'll only be
3.
three
That's right,
years.
because it's Euro 2020.
Euro 2024 coming back. You brought up the NBA Finals. I actually didn't watch much of that, especially once it got out of hand. So I guess we were, the adjustment was right. It zigged when we zagged. Bucks bounced back. We kind of have a series now. Do we go 2-2? Are we going 2-2? Like we'll get to this game when it actually happens. We'll talk about it later in the week.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if we have a series yet. I think the Bucks probably still have to win that game. Phoenix definitely took their foot off the pedal late, which was good as someone that may or may not have had a handful of Bucks alt spreads.
Yeah, that was kind of a never in doubt after a while. It's like, oh, they're just gonna kick the shit out of them here. So yeah, it is again same odds, pretty much the same line, 220-ish. That's kind of where it settled. I think a lot of places this closed 221. Very nervy total right at the end there, especially if you had an under. The Bucks spread was never in doubt. Yeah, very similar lines for game 4. I will probably talk about it tomorrow. I think we'll have a promo bet for that. We'll have a boosted bet for game 4. And like I said, we'll get to that when we get to it. More pressing, not really either, because this doesn't start till Thursday too, but the Open, which I call the British Open because I can't help it. It's like the San Diego Chargers. I will say that for another couple of years. I've stopped saying St. Louis Rams. Like I've gotten that out of my system. I'm fully on board with the LA Rams now. I don't know. Maybe it's McVay doesn't look like a St. Louis guy. Like, he's just like that.
Well, they used to be the LA Rams. They're just going back, right?
That's true. Like when I was very young, like Jerome Bettis was drafted by the LA Rams. Like that was a thing. I think it was LA in '93. So yeah, and Stan Kroenke, some choice words for him in the chat. But Open Championship, I talked to producer Dan a little off the air about this. It's kind of a weird one to bet because these are markets that are open all year round. Like if you follow any golf handicappers, people are adding tickets for this as people ascend. Say like, when Jordan Spieth turned the corner, he went from a joke to a bet on. And a lot of people started adding prices for him for the major tournaments, later on in the season, because it's like, well, we're not going to see these come tip time or, first tee once we get to these major tournaments and these markets are open. So a ton of people that bet golf already have their futures in months ago. They're betting on people when the market is still low before it gets out of hand with them. So I added a couple here, but like I have a Spieth at 60 to 1. Like I'm going to cheer for Jordan Spieth, or like Danny Berger at 80 to 1. I have Hovland at 50 to 1. These are just some off market stuff from earlier in the year. That's what I'm going to be betting for.
Those are great numbers.
I don't like cheering for Jordan Spieth. I dislike him as a person, but I want to win a bunch of money. Usti is a guy who I'm probably going to back top 10 as well, in case he hurts me. But yeah, the top guy in my numbers right now, Morikawa, just based off some light modeling I did this morning, saying what's important. If you're unfamiliar with this course, you'll get to see it tomorrow on Approaching the Green. It is a links course. It is always a links course. It's always going to be coastal links courses when you head over to the British Open. So there's going to be like no trees, just some scrubby ass bushes, huge fairway, like just
and a bunch of wind.
A lot of wind. It looks wide open. It's not as wide open as you think. Yeah, big pot bunkers, and they don't like excavate and build courses. It's like they flop courses on top of the ground. So there's a lot of undulations just based on, well, this is what the ground looked like before we put a golf course on it. So very interesting. That's why a lot of people went and played Scotland, so they could get some links experience right before they go play this. So probably advantage to some of those people. But yeah, Morikawa, just at this number, I'm going to bet him in any major, especially how he's playing. And then Matthew Fitzpatrick, not a guy I back a lot, but I had him fairly high. And then just Usti, shop around. Usti is due, Dan says. I'm all about Usti winning this. If he gets second, I'm still going to make some money because I'm going to have some Usti top 5, top 10. I'll get to that stuff later in the week. But yeah, top 20s did good. My top 20, top 30 bets went 4 for 5 last week, all at like right around 2 to 1 or better. Money. I think one was plus 175, but the rest were pretty big. So congrats to those outrights. Obviously didn't get there, but Chase Seifert was in the running for a bit. He was $150 to 1. So
yeah.
Didn't quite get there. Lucas Glover, weird. I don't know. I was never going to bet him. He hasn't won in 10 years.
It was a wild finish. That was fun to watch. I didn't have anybody basically left at that point, but it was fun to watch different names come up, come down, people pop in and out. And I guess it could have been a little better. It wasn't quite as good as it was the tournament last week that Cam Davis won in the playoffs. So, I mean, it wasn't quite that good, but we've had a couple Sundays like this where, things have just been really wide open. And I like what you said about practice on the links course. That's huge. I know you said you did some light modeling and there's probably not too many links courses for you to put in, but it is a different style of play. It requires a whole different set of skills. Like you said, the undulation, some players are good at adjusting to lies that are uneven, some are not, and you'll really see that. So as you're going through, anybody that's doing it, if there are enough links courses out there, I would definitely take a long, hard look at performance on those.
Oh, for sure. And I'll have lots of stuff out later this week as we get excited to head to St. George's, Royal St. George's. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know. All those golf courses have ridiculous. Why can't you just have a cool name like Deere Run, or John Deere pays you to name it that? I don't think they do that over there. So anyway, golf is coming home. Soccer did not. Golf is coming home. That's what we're doing. Tennis. Where's tennis heading now? Wimbledon's over. Congrats, Ash Barty. Great job. Australia loves you. We're heading to shittier parts of Europe, I'm assuming.
All over. We're going to go to Prague to play on hard courts. We're going to go to Lucerne to play on clay, and we're going to go to Budapest to play on clay. I guess Budapest, is that, I was never clear. Is that Europe or is that Asia? It's unclear to me, but it's right on the line. I don't know. Depends what map you're looking at or what geography teacher you had. But we've got a bunch of tennis this week. Again, 3 tournaments for the women. The men, I think, have 3 tournaments themselves. There's also a bunch of challenger tournaments, which is kind of like, AAA tennis for the men, if you will. So we'll go through. We got a handful of picks here. Let's see, where are we going to start? I'm sorry, Budapest. I can't quite see the screen. Budapest. We've got Budapest up there. So looking here, we've got an underdog here, Golfi. She is someone that came through qualifying, a younger player, really comfortable on the surface. Like her quite a bit in this spot at even money. Looking at Olga Danilovic, -3 games. Now this one you might have to look around for a little bit. You can see it's +10. This is -2, -2.5 a lot of places, but I wanted to go ahead and sell out. If Danilovic wins this match, it should be by quite a bit. I might even go back myself later and try to find some 3.5s or -4s or something just to add a little bit to this position. But -2.5, -2 at even money is good. And usually I'm very hesitant again about laying small game spreads, especially in some of these WTA matches, because you can have somebody win 6-4, 0-6, 6-4, and you look like an idiot for not grabbing the money line. But I really think this is a position where if Danilovic wins, she wins by quite a few games, and I don't think it'll really be in too much question unless she loses. So happy to lay the three games here, Andy. And I saw you chuckling there a little bit. Have you run into that yourself at all? I mean, I know you mostly bet men's tennis, but I think it happens less there.
Yeah, this shit happens where it's like, oh, they clearly won the match, and not like Gail Monfils take the second set off, like sit on the sideline. You might as well sit on the bench for the second set, where if they get down a break, like, all right, I'll get them in the third. Yeah, that's very annoying. So hopefully we don't run into any of that. And then a little bigger of a dog here, Lepchenko. I just wanted to see that, right?
Yeah, Varvara Lepchenko. Sorry, just trying to pull up who she's playing. I closed out of that tab for whatever reason. But, at +155, very competitive player on clay, someone that has actually been playing some of the smaller clay tournaments. Someone, again, is just underpriced for whatever reason. I'm not sure why she doesn't get more respect. Maybe, as an older player, it can be tough for the market really to hold on to. We've got Anna Bogdan here, is who she's playing, the favorite. Somebody I've backed a handful of times, but coming in here, this is her first clay match. So like Lepchenko here, +155. So a couple picks for us to start there in Budapest.
Are these all 250s?
Yeah, I think they are. One of them might be a 500. So the next set that we've got up here, some matches in Lucerne. I don't know actually how to say that. Looking around, Jill Teichmann playing Zanevska here. I went with an under 20.5 games. Teichmann is someone I really like to bet on clay, but has been battling some injuries and starting to come back. If she is in any good form, she wins this match pretty comfortably. But if she is still injured and kind of looks like maybe she did a week or so ago on her last match, I think Zanevska can actually win and pretty quickly. So this is an under where I think, whoever wins, we're looking at 6-4, 6-4 or better, something like that. So really like the under there. On the other side of the coin, we're going to go with an over here. Anna Blinkova is playing Olga Govortsova. Really like the over here at 20.5. I have this at 21. I'd have a juicy 21, maybe a cheap 21.5 here. Govortsova generally is not a great clay player if you go back and look at some of her results, but made a final on clay in her last tournament, and I think it's going to be really competitive. Blinkova is someone that you go back and look historically, loves playing long matches. I mean, it's not Coco Gauffin, but it's kind of on that same spectrum to a lesser degree. So always like her overs. Happy to go there. And then we have a big underdog here.
Oh, Miss Manila.
Mandy Manila. I forget exactly what she took a break for. I can't remember if it was injury or to start a family or whatever, but at plus 215, she's a really talented player, was very good on clay. Again, starting to build herself back in form here. And against Varvara Gracheva, I'm not excited about Gracheva here. She's about minus 250. I have Manila closer to plus 160, plus 170 here. So I'm going to play this down to, plus 190, plus 185, something like that. But there's still some plus 200s or better floating out there. Just a half unit play for me. Again, if she comes out and is playing, close to what her former form was, I think she can win this match. Otherwise, it might get pretty ugly. So not going to attack a game spread, anything like that, but just kind of a half unit here for a nice big underdog. And
just one prog. Is it Storm Sanders?
This is up to clay for us, Andy, because tennis is. That's right, because Hurricane Tyga Black, I think, is busy this week. I'm not really sure what she's doing. So, we'll start here again. You mentioned Storm Sanders there. She is playing Marie Buzkova. I actually thought about playing Sanders money line here, but, at plus 190, I was hoping for something closer to plus 200. But the total at 20.5 looks, again, almost a game too low to me. This is going to be a very competitive match. Sanders has been much better this year, and Buzkova is someone that, drops games from time to time. So not too concerned there about her. And that'll do it for us. We've got 3 tournaments. We've got 7 picks. There'll be a bunch all week. It's tennis. This is why we love tennis, Andy. They finish the Grand Slams and they send them all, spread them out to the wins. And all these players are out here filling up all these tournaments. Some better than others, but I'm just happy to have tennis.
It's nice having multiple. I love the majors. I love the slams, but I like it when there's 4 tournaments going on. I think it's tougher for books to price when too many things are going on in too many different places. And you can find some value, especially
so they're not laser focused.
Yeah. So I'm excited for Budapest mostly. I don't know why. That just seems like a good one.
It's just it's a fun word to say. It's a fun city. The tournament's pretty competitive.
Lausanne. Anyway, before we get to we don't really have much else. Actually, you know what? Somebody asked about the home run derby. I did make a couple small bets, just find the best number of an Ohtani. They're not using the humidor, so these balls might really fly. You can find some props on the longest home runs. I would play some overs on that. I played on most home runs hit by somebody in the first round. I found a 24 at a pretty juicy price earlier. That's getting steamed up. It looks like this is going to be a really fun one. I'm very much more excited about this than the actual All-Star game. I always am. But having this up in Colorado it's going to be fun, especially without the humidor balls. So I'm donkey public Andy playing on all the overs, and it should be fun. I'll definitely be in. There's people that do pools and stuff too. Get involved in this. It's fun. There's not much else going on tonight. Speaking of going on tonight,
as the people in Springfield say, Andy, we want dingers.
I just want dingers. I love home run derbies, especially once they added the tracker, the ball tracker.
Oh, the tracker.
A lot cooler. I might have to record part of it because we're doing a deep dive tonight. Deep dive is happening. Football starts. Eagles and Giants at Deep Dive Pod. If you have anything, if you're an Eagles fan, an Eagles hater, a Giants fan, whatever, or just an NFL, handicapper, better enjoyer of the product, hit us at Deep Dive Pod if you have anything you really want us to bring on the podcast tonight. Otherwise, we're going to spend a bunch of time breaking down the Eagles and the Giants as previews start tonight. It's happening. So on the same YouTube channel, we'll be back at 7 Eastern. It's the next 8 weeks of this shit. So I'm excited. You're excited. And we'll be using lines from our sponsor, WinBets, where you can get a free $500 risk-free bet and a YETI. All you need to do is sign up. A bunch of people signed up over the weekend. Keeping Matt busy, getting addresses, sending them out. And you know what? You can get a tumbler too. 30-ounce Rambler. All you have to do is sign up. The links are in the pinned tweet all over the place. Follow at BETSPERTS. You can get it. And Alex, are you going to fly home tonight or what?
Tomorrow morning. We'll be doing the show tomorrow morning, and then I'll be running right out of here. So if anybody can see the junk behind me, it'll be much more cleaned up because it'll all be packed to the back.
Pack it up. And one more day from Vegas, and we'll catch you tomorrow. And then Alex back in the studio on Wednesday. See you guys.